Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into some fascinating stuff today. It's the Law of One and how it looks at diet, physical care, and spiritual growth. You ever think about how those three things are all kind of like intertwined?
It's definitely a unique perspective, not your typical eat your veggies and meditate kind of advice.
Right. So we'll be exploring the Law of One through the lens of the Ra material, which is a collection of channeled communications that outline this whole complex spiritual philosophy.
Think of it as a roadmap to understanding the interconnectedness of everything.
Okay, so like not just focusing on calorie counting or the latest fitness trend.
Right, it's about seeing the bigger picture, how our physical choices can actually impact our spiritual evolution.
Whoa, okay, I'm intrigued. So we'll be tackling some pretty big questions today, like can our bodies be instruments for spiritual growth?
We'll delve into that.
And like what's the deal with energy centers? Are they actually linked to our well-being?
That's a key part of the law of one.
And hold up, does what we eat really affect our spiritual progress?
Buckle up, it's about to get metaphysical.
Okay, so to start off, can you break down this whole mind-body-spirit complex thing?
Well, the law of one views the mind, body, and spirit not as separate pieces, but as like threads woven together.
Oh, so like a tapestry.
Exactly. And every single choice we make, every experience we have, it affects the whole tapestry, not just one little thread.
So what I do to my body, what I think, it all impacts the entire system.
Precisely. You can't really separate physical health from mental health, from spiritual well-being. They're all intertwined.
Wow, okay, that makes sense. So where do these energy centers come in? I've always thought of chakras as kind of esoteric, but you're saying they actually have a connection to physical health.
Absolutely. The raw material describes these energy centers as like pathways of energy that flow through us, and they influence different aspects of our being.
Okay, and if these pathways get blocked, what happens?
Well, it's like a clogged pipe. The energy can't flow freely, and that can manifest in different
So it
ways.
can show up emotionally.
Right, like difficulty communicating or expressing yourself.
And it can also manifest physically.
Exactly. It's all connected.
Okay, that's kind of blowing my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's say, hypothetically, I'm holding back, not speaking my truth. Could that indicate a blockage in one of these energy centers? And could that even, like, cause a sore throat or something?
It's definitely possible. Think of it as a ripple effect. The blockage disrupts the flow of energy, and that disruption can manifest on multiple levels.
Okay, this is all starting to click. So
Mhm.
we've got this mind-body-spirit connection, and it sounds like taking care of ourselves is kind of crucial. And that brings us to diet, right? But the law of one has a pretty unique take on food.
It goes way beyond calories and nutrients. The law of one sees food as a source of energy for the entire mind body spirit complex. And get this, it suggests that certain foods can actually enhance or hinder our spiritual progress.
Well, hold on. You're saying what we eat can actually affect our spiritual growth? Like, it's not just about fueling our bodies, but also about feeding our spiritual selves.
That's exactly what the law of one suggests. And it gets pretty specific. The raw material even cautions against consuming oil fried foods.
Wait, what?
Yeah. They say that it can have a detrimental effect on the physical complex.
Not exactly what I expected to find in a spiritual text. So, like, how do French fries impact our spiritual progress? Do they, like, clog up those energy centers we were talking about?
Well, think of it in terms of vibrations. Every type of food has a different vibrational frequency, and processed foods tend to have a denser, heavier vibration.
Okay, so if we're eating heavy foods, does that, like, weigh down our own energy? Is that what makes it harder to connect with those higher spiritual vibes?
That's the idea. The raw material suggests that fresh, vibrant foods, especially those from the plant kingdom, resonate with higher frequencies.
Okay, so it's not about following some crazy restrictive diet, but more about like understanding the energy of what we consume, like choosing the right fuel for our spiritual journey.
Exactly. It's about being mindful of the choices we make and how they align with our desire for spiritual growth.
This is all making so much sense. So we're feeding our mind, body, spirit with good vibes and we're taking care of ourselves. But like, where does service to others fit into all of this?
That's where things get really interesting. The law of one emphasizes service to others as a major pathway to spiritual growth. They even talk about how Ra, the channeled source, interacted with ancient civilizations, offering healing and knowledge.
Hold up, you're saying this channeled source actually interacted with ancient civilizations, like hands-on, helping them out. What did that look like?
Well, one example they mention is using the pyramid shape for healing and balancing planetary energy. They even talk about assisting the ancient Egyptians with building the Great Pyramid.
Wait, are you serious? So the pyramids weren't just giant tombs. They were like giant energy machines. That is wild. What kind of energy were they working with?
According to Ra, the pyramid shape was specifically designed to channel and harmonize the Earth's energy, like a sophisticated technology for balancing and amplifying frequencies.
Okay, now my mind is officially blown. So we've gone from diet to energy centers to ancient pyramids. It's like we're peeling back layers of a cosmic onion.
And with every layer, we see more and more interconnectedness.
So how does this whole service to others thing tie into all of this?
The Law of One suggests that acts of service, whether big or small, can contribute to healing, both for ourselves and for others.
Okay, that makes sense. But like even little things, like helping someone with their groceries or just listening to a friend.
Absolutely. Every act of genuine compassion creates a ripple effect throughout creation.
Wow, that is powerful stuff. Okay, I think I need a minute to process all this.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about service to others.
Yeah, that whole pyramid as energy machine thing is still kind of blowing my mind. But I am definitely intrigued by this whole service as a catalyst for growth thing. Like, how does helping someone else actually help me on my own spiritual path?
Well, the Law of One is all about interconnectedness, right? So when we help others, we're not just like doing something nice for them. We're also tapping into that fundamental unity, that spark of the creator that exists in every being.
So it's like by helping someone else, I'm acknowledging that we're not really separate individuals, but part of a larger like web of existence.
Exactly. It's about seeing past the illusion of separation and recognizing the oneness of all creation. And when we do that, we get closer to our true nature, which is, at its core, love and unity.
Okay, that's deep. But I got to be honest, sometimes it's hard to see how like small acts of kindness can really make a difference in the grand scheme of things. Does the law of one address that at all?
It does. The Law of One suggests that even the smallest act of service can have a ripple effect throughout that web of creation we were talking about.
Oh, okay. So even like holding a door open for someone or offering a kind word, those things can contribute to positive change.
Absolutely. The Law of One is all about the intention behind the action. When we act from a place of genuine compassion, those vibrations spread outward, creating a positive ripple effect.
Wow, that is actually really encouraging. Makes you realize that even small gestures can have a much bigger impact than we might think.
Yeah.
But what about when we're dealing with our own challenges? Like, how does the law of one view those tough times that we all go through?
That's where it gets really fascinating. The Law of One sees challenges as, how do I put it, catalysts for growth. Every experience, even the difficult ones, offers us a chance to learn and evolve.
Hold on. Are you saying that even the bad stuff can be good for us? How does that work?
It's not about the challenge itself, but about how we choose to respond to it. The Roque material emphasizes learning from our experiences, extracting wisdom, and using those experiences as fuel for growth. So it's not about avoiding challenges, but learning to navigate them.
So like seeing those tough moments as opportunities instead of setbacks, that's a pretty big shift in perspective.
It is. The Law of One suggests that it's through these challenges that we really come to understand ourselves and the universe and ultimately get closer to the creator. Like even in the darkest moments, there's a chance for learning and growth.
Okay, but sometimes it feels like the darkness is just too much. How do we find the strength to keep going when things are really tough?
That's where faith comes in. The Law of One talks about faith as a powerful tool. It's about trusting the process, even when we don't fully understand it.
So like having that deep inner knowing that everything's happening for a reason, even when it doesn't feel like it.
Exactly. Surrendering to the wisdom of the universe and trusting that there's a higher purpose at play.
Okay, that's a comforting thought. But I still struggle with this whole service to others thing. When there's so much negativity in the world, like how do we deal with people who aren't receptive to our help or who might even like try to take advantage of our kindness?
That's a really important question. And the Law of One does acknowledge the existence of what it calls the service to self path. It says that some beings choose to focus on their own needs above the needs of others.
So like selfishness and greed. But if everything is interconnected, how can some beings choose a path that seems so, I don't know, opposite of unity?
Well, the Law of One emphasizes free will. Every being has the choice to follow their own path. Some choose service to others, some choose service to self. It's all part of the grand experiment.
So there's like a duality, a tension between these two paths. But how does that work in real life? Like what if someone is being manipulative or hurtful? Do we just like stand by and let them do their thing?
The law of one is really clear about the importance of respecting free will. We can offer love and support, but we can't force anyone to change.
So we can be an example, but we can't force anyone to follow our lead.
Right. Our job is to embody love and compassion, to be examples of what's possible, and to trust that ultimately every being will find their way back to the Creator.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all fits together. It's about making choices that align with our desire for spiritual growth, recognizing our interconnectedness, and embracing the challenges as opportunities to learn.
Exactly. And it's a lifelong journey. There's no finish line. It's about constantly trying to align ourselves with the law of one and living those principles in our everyday lives.
This deep dive has definitely made me think about things differently. Like, I'm seeing the world through a whole new lens. But I have to admit, some of these concepts are pretty complex. Is there anything in the raw material that can help us understand these ideas on a deeper level?
Well, the raw material often uses analogies to explain things, and one of the most powerful ones is the concept of the veil of forgetting.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that, but I'm not sure I totally get it. What is the veil of forgetting, and how does it relate to all of this?
Imagine a veil that separates us from our true nature, from our past lives, and from our inherent connection to the Creator.
So it's like we're playing a cosmic game of hide and seek. We've forgotten who we really are, and the goal is to remember.
That's a great way to put it. And the raw material says that this veil has a purpose. It allows us to fully experience this reality with all its challenges and contrasts.
But why would we want to forget in the first place? Wouldn't it be easier to just remember who we are and skip all the hard stuff?
The raw material suggests that without the veil, our experiences would be less intense, less real. It's like the difference between watching a movie and actually living the story.
So the veil makes everything more real, more vivid, even if it means we have to go through some tough times.
Exactly. And it highlights how important it is to embrace all of our experiences, the good and the bad, knowing that everything is ultimately leading us back to the Creator.
This is all so mind-blowing. I definitely need some time to process all this.
It's a lot to take in. And remember, the law of one encourages us to approach these ideas with an open mind and see what resonates with our own truth.
This has been a wild ride so far. I'm seeing how everything we've talked about, diet, service, challenges, they're all connected to this bigger picture of spiritual growth. But before we wrap up, I'm curious to explore this whole veil of forgetting a bit more. Like, what does it actually mean to live in this veiled state? How does it affect our ability to connect with our true nature? We'll dive into all that and more after the break. Welcome back. So before the break, we were getting deep into this whole veil of forgetting thing. It's like we've chosen to forget who we really are, a connection to the Creator, all of that. What are the implications of living in this veiled state?
Well, think of it like this. The veil kind of sets the stage for a more intense experience of duality, light and dark, love and fear, joy and sorrow. And it's by going through these contrasts that we really get the chance to learn and grow.
So we willingly forget who we are just so we can experience the full range of human emotions, the good and the bad.
It's more like before the veil, our experiences were kind of like, I don't know, faint whispers. They lacked depth. The veil turns up the volume on everything, makes the highs higher and the lows lower.
So it's like we've chosen to jump into the deep end of the pool instead of wading in slowly. We know it's going to be tougher, but it's the only way to really learn how to swim.
Exactly. The veil creates a kind of like a crucible for growth where we're constantly being challenged to choose love over fear, service to others over service to self, and every choice shapes us, influences our journey back to the Creator.
Okay, so we're facing challenges, making choices, hopefully learning along the way. But how do we know if we're on the right track? Does the law of one give us any guidance on how to navigate this veiled reality, how to make choices that support our spiritual growth?
Well, the law of one emphasizes the importance of seeking knowledge, both from within and from external sources. It encourages us to question things, to test the information we're given, and really trust our intuition.
So it's not about blindly following rules or relying on someone else to tell us what's right. It's about developing our own ability to discern what's true for us.
Exactly. The law of one reminds us that we all have a direct line to the Creator, and the answers we're looking for are already inside of us. We just have to learn to listen to that inner voice.
Okay, that makes sense, but it also sounds pretty daunting, especially with so much information out there, so many different opinions. How do we filter through all that noise and figure out what resonates with us?
The raw material offers a pretty simple guideline for discernment. follow the path of love. It suggests that any action, any belief that's rooted in love is in alignment with the Creator.
So, like, when we're faced with a tough choice, we can ask ourselves, which path feels more loving? Which option resonates more deeply with my heart?
Exactly. And keep in mind, love doesn't always mean easy or comfortable. Sometimes the most loving choice is the one that challenges us to grow, to step outside our comfort zone, to face our shadows.
That's a really good point. I think a lot of us are conditioned to shy away from difficulty, to prioritize comfort and safety. But maybe those tough moments are actually like the most valuable opportunities for growth.
That's what the Law of One suggests. It's in those moments when we're pushed to our limits that we have the greatest potential for transformation.
Okay, I'm seeing how this all ties together. The veil of forgetting sets up the conditions for growth, the challenges we face become chances to learn, and love is our guiding light. It's like we're being given all the tools we need to make this journey, even if it doesn't always feel like it.
That's a really beautiful way to put it. And the Law of One reminds us that we're not alone on this path. We've got the support of the Creator, the guidance of our higher selves, and we're all in this together with countless other souls who are also working to evolve.
That's really comforting. It makes the journey feel less daunting, knowing that we're part of something bigger, something that's supporting us every step of the way.
Exactly. We're all connected, each of us playing a part in this grand tapestry of creation.
This has been an amazing exploration. We've really dived deep into the Law of One, exploring ideas that challenge the way we typically see the world.
We've talked about how diet and taking care of ourselves physically can influence our spiritual growth, how service to others can be a catalyst for evolution, the role of challenges in our development, and the meaning of the veil of forgetting.
It's been like a crash course in cosmic consciousness, and honestly, I'm feeling really inspired. So as we wrap up, are there any key takeaways that our listeners can apply to their own lives?
Well, always remember that every choice you make matters. It affects both you and the world around you. So try to align your choices with love, remembering that it's the most powerful force out there.
And when challenges come up, try to see them as opportunities for growth. Even the toughest experiences can teach us valuable lessons and bring us closer to a deeper understanding of ourselves.
And don't forget, nurture that connection to the Creator, to your higher self. You are never truly alone on this journey.
This is just the beginning, right? There's always more to explore, more to learn, more to discover. So keep seeking, keep questioning, keep growing. May most importantly, never lose that sense of awe and wonder for the universe and all its mysteries. Until next time, may your journey be filled with love, light, and endless possibilities.